Hello everyone, Shell here of the Wanderbots, and welcome to Harmony, the Fall of Reverie. This is an absolutely gorgeous game, and I would best describe it as a branching visual novel of sorts, but with far many more mechanics than I've ever seen when it comes to being able to navigate down the branching paths themselves. This is a game by Don't Nod, and they were so kind to give us a Switch key. However, I'm using the pre-release demo because it's my more genuine first impression, and our editing programs ruined the Switch audio. Well, without further ado, let's go back in time to when I first played Harmony, the Fall of Reverie. Oh wow, look at this. We have some seagulls. Oh no, a drone. And, oh, that's interesting. What's a pillar doing here? Looks like it's on the beach. This must be the protagonist. Missed call. Many from Laszlo. Oh. This place doesn't seem as dreary. Oh. Citizen database not found. Is this a surveillance state? Where there's drones and cameras absolutely everywhere? Ah, yeah. Everyone's on AR headsets and with phones in their hands. Ah, and that's the corporate logo. I think it's a K. It seemed to be the one that was displayed on all those phone screens. Oh, well, this place is pretty. There's so much color. Welcome back, Polly. I love the animation for this. Look at these environments. Wait a minute, what's that? She didn't seem alarmed by it. Oh, old workshop. It's a little bit cluttered, but interesting. Everything looks the same, but it feels so different. I dropped my bag in my old room. It's been 10 years since I moved out of this place. 5 since the last time I managed to come back for the holidays. So is this her familial home? When I was young, this island felt so small, but now I'm realizing that I was wrong about that. It's not small. It's just that I was growing up. I had my own ideas. Needed some time. Away. Alone. Back then, it felt like all the space here was meant for other, more important people. And by people, I mean my mother, Ursula. She's always been so purposeful, so dedicated, so focused. She casts a long shadow. The Naiads. Wait a minute. There are these beautiful old buildings, but they're covered in graffiti, and this looks like at one time it was a pool. See? They even have the pool sign, but it's definitely been made into an arcade or something else. It could have been kind of like a seaside luxury resort or some kind of... I've seen buildings like this. Around the Great Lakes, for instance, where they do have swim centers and tennis courts and a number of things, but these buildings have usually been long since abandoned, and maybe they still host events, but yeah, like this one, it's been repurposed into something else. Now I find myself stepping back into the place where we lived together for so many years, the Naiads. The Naiads being water nymphs in Greek mythology. A big residence, open to all, filled with artists and creatives. Ooh, the backbone of Alma, the surrounding neighborhood. At least, it was. With Ursula gone missing, the place feels empty now, almost abandoned. Wait, so this was like an artist conclave? And her mother was a head of it of some sort, but It's interesting how she distances herself from her mother, referring to her mother as Ursula as opposed to mom or mother. Oh, there we go. I decide to go straight to my mother's room, to the heart of the problem. Everything looks familiar, and everything feels strange. I hear a sound, and some instinct freezes me in place. Nobody's home. The noise emerges from somewhere inside my mother's room. Well, they said her mother vanished. Whatever that noise does sound like almost like water. Or a water bubble bubbling up. I wonder if it's that peculiar thing that was watching her outside. Yeah, we have old books and stereo systems, and there's definitely some air conditioning going on. I think it's funny when they add the tassels. It's almost as though, yeah, you're trying to have a visualization of the air conditioning. A heartbeat and a gentle pearl-like rattling. A soothing sound. A call. A name, whispered, chanted. I feel compelled to open the door and... Ooh, what's that amulet? Ooh, that's a pretty bathroom. Wait, into the water? Oh, of course, a portal. Her outfit's changed her eyes. Wait. Who's that? Wait. Is this a massive labyrinth? Nexus. Where am I? The world around me, I've never seen anything like it. An endless panorama, a limitless zone, or horizon. My head spins. And there, looking at me like I'm an old friend, is a girl. She seems surprised, as if my presence was a shock to her.
Oh, didn't see you there.
Really, then? But what is this place? There's some symbols around these pillars. Wait, there's 6 pillars. So these must be the kind of symbolic of those entities that I was referring to in the opening. And this must be one of them, if her name is Bliss. I suppose it makes sense for Bliss to be a kind of colorful, childlike character because bliss is happiness?
Take your time, Sprout. It's not every day you wake up in a new dimension.
My ears are ringing, head swimming. I feel like I'm in the strangest dream ever, but I take a breath and focus.
There you go. You'll get the hang of it in no time.
Who is this person? She puts down the game consoles that she was playing with and rushes over to me.
So, I guess we've got a lot to discuss.
Who are you? I'm Polly.
Oh, that's what she sounds like. But notice how they've already labeled her as Harmony.
Actually, you're Harmony for us over here.
She seems to be looking at my clothes and... What happened? Why am I dressed like a priestess? I'm just gonna make myself try to sound more like her. Breathe. I need to breathe.
I'm Bliss. This world is Reverie. And it's in big trouble.
Ooh. There was some kind of codex? Oh.
Both my world and yours are on the brink of collapse.
That's interesting. I mean, I could see humanity being on the brink of collapse, but what exists in this world, unless this world is intrinsically tied to people and their emotions?
Not pillaged and plundered by an invading army or something cool like that. No, this is ugly. Bad news. Collapsing from within, you know?
Wait, slow down, please. I was just in my mother's room, and I picked up this necklace, and...
See this?
The girl points to an object floating in the middle of the platform. An orb. It sort of looks like a heart, wreathed in blue flames. It's radiating a power surge of emotions. How do I know this?
Don't look at it for too long, Sprout. It'll bum you out.
It's incredible.
And yet, it's fragile. More than it has ever been.
I take a few steps towards it. Waves of comforting warmth and aching cold wash over me. Sensations of solitude and togetherness, emptiness and excess. I'm on the verge of tears, gripped by a sense of helpless sorrow beyond my control.
I know who you are. And I know you have to touch the heart of Reverie.
The heart. Oh, I see. So we have C for Codex. Reverie, an intangible realm where ideas and concepts become real. Our home, independent of time and space. Reverie has always been, but its existence is tenuous and depends on Brittle. Without Brittle's physicality, dreams would shatter and hopes would wither. All of Reverie gravitates around the heart, a pulsating orb made of the textures of dreams. Wait, made of the texture of dreams? Really? Our relationship with Brittle is symbiotic. Our lives are connected. So they have a section for mythology, sanctuaries, citizens, society. So there's Atina, the oldest inhabited city in the Mediterranean Sea, is now one of the most technologically advanced city-states in southern Europe. Located at the crossroads of many influential civilizations, Atina always is destined for greatness, thanks to Monocon, and despite concern from bulky citizens, the island has been ushered into the 21st century, with safer streets, new buildings, cheaper access to technology, and lower taxes. Atina is now a trailblazer among European capitals. But it has the dystopic surveillance state thing going on. The Naiads. Built in 1924 on a former Oxion site, the Naiads was once Alma's only public school. It was a school? I mean, I suppose they would have a pool at a school. With a structure loosely based on Oxion architecture, the Naiads was also meant to highlight Atina's cultural heritage. One of Alma's thriving gathering places, the Naiads was forced to shut down in the 80s when the city council fell into financial ruin. It remained empty for a decade until a successful local poetess and other community members managed to buy it back from the city. They transformed it into a multi-unit building, welcoming to all kinds of artists. Ah, so I wonder if her mother then is the poetess. Aspirations. Oh, so those characters are called aspirations. Bliss, the incarnation of primal dreams in childhood. Bliss embodies the need for joy and protection. An eternally innocent child, Bliss is one of the oldest aspirations. Born from the earliest dreams of humankind, Bliss always needs more. More love, more laughter, more comfort, and more security. She despises any form of hierarchy and has barely contributed Reverie's development. Her fears can sometimes overwhelm her and cause disasters, like the huge earthquake that divided Reverie's realms. Ooh, interesting. The heart.
Touch it! Touch it and see the future!
Oh, is this how we get the branching paths? I comply. My fingers seem to go right through the surface. It's neither cold nor hot. Softly rough. It seems to be a paradox of things. It's a dichotomy. It always has, like it said before, hot and cold, coarse and smooth, full of joy and full of sorrow. It's interesting. I feel a slight shock, almost imperceptible.
What the...
You're connected to Reverie now. You'll be able to travel between our world and yours.
What do you mean, travel? I have so many questions.
Looks like you're searching for your mother. This'll point you in the right direction. Introducing the Augural, an amazing tool you can use to strategize and plan out the future.
How do I use it?
The girl takes a sip of her drink and a few seconds to reply. Is this simply theatrics, or is she figuring out the best way to explain?
See for yourself, Sprout.
Ooh, welcome to Harmony. This tutorial will give you all the knowledge you need to explore the story. Story notes. So this is like when they have the M in the title for Harmony. It looks like these branching paths. The future is visible to you in the form of interconnected nodes. Each node contains a fragment of story that you can choose to unveil. Close the tutorial and use the left click in the first node to select it. So we have truth or dare. What happened? What the hell just happened?
Your role allows you to see the future. That's this board, you know? Before today, time was linear for you. From now on, well, it dances to your tune.
It's incredible. How? How come I can do that?
I'm an aspiration. Me and my friends need a heart to exist. But our heart is weak. And you're special, Sprout. You can help us. You can save us all.
Bliss attempts to smile, but it looks forced. Perhaps because I look so confused. For a moment, the word means nothing to me. But why me? And why was the necklace in my mother's room? Could this augural be the key to finding my mother?
Let's start with something easy. Truth or dare?
Truth or dare? Is she serious? The light in her eyes tells me so. She is serious. Now I can choose the next node. I want truth. Ah, branchings. The symbol means that only one of the next two nodes can be played. The other will be blocked forever. Choose which part of the story you want to see unfold. Truth. I wonder how you can play this game with some kind of immortal child, but I accept.
Truth.
Tell me about your mum. Do you like her?
Words are spilling out of my mouth uncontrollably.
Things are difficult between us.
Good. You made a choice. And now, what we're experiencing is unique and special.
All at once, I feel ashamed. What was I thinking to open up to this unknown entity? So much, and so suddenly.
Don't worry about that.
Hang on. She can hear my thoughts? She needs to stop.
I'm trying, but I can't help catching some of them. Like listening to a foreign lingo you half know. But go on. Tell me about your mother.
It takes me a couple seconds to refocus.
You make it sound so clinical. It's just that I never knew her. I mean,
I can feel Bliss's presence in my head retreating, being pushed back. I can actually keep her out of my thoughts, if I concentrate hard enough. So I continue.
She's always been there, pushing me, picking me up after failures and mistakes. But who she really is, deep down, as a person, I have no clue.
We're suddenly back at the Naiads. If not for the familiar surroundings, I might not have noticed the shift.
What the?
Is this your room? Nice.
Oh. You're here?
Well, sort of. I'm really still in Reverie, but with a bit of effort, we aspirations can push ourselves into brittle. And as you shifted yourself back here, I thought I'd come with.
Brittle, the material world where humankind lives. Humanity's actions produce egregore, the liquid vital to our existence. Brittle is the world of matter, time, dimensions, and gravity. However, despite its limits, Brittle is also the land of movement and energy. Guided by the right hand, it can produce great things. We can visit it, but we can't be seen there. Ooh.
I did?
Don't worry about it. Those new powers of yours will take a bit of getting used to. Now, where were we? Oh yeah, your mum.
My finger traces circles on the desk. A mandala of dust.
Would you say she was distant?
Always. She kept me at bay. Refused to let me into her world. She wanted me to become this great artist. And instead I went into medical research.
Oh man, that's the opposite of what most of my friends and I and, our folks have experienced. Everyone was essentially being pushed to do medicine and science and whatnot, and yes, definitely frowned upon to become an artist. I suppose it's always... I suppose it would be the opposite if your parent is already an artist themselves.
She was always there, always present, but never close. Does that make sense?
Why am I asking? My stomach hurts. Why am I hurting myself?
She never even cried. When Dad left, she simply closed that book and opened another one.
My fingers paint an infinite spiral. Again and again. It feels soothing, like I'm making a bridge to connect two different drawings. And we're suddenly and brutally back to the other world.
What's going on?
Don't ask me. You're the one who brought us here. Traveling between worlds like it's nothing is... well, shows what amazing powers you have.
I smile. The future. The futures are slowly unfolding. Hidden future. Polly can catch a glimpse of the future, but entire parts of it sometimes remain hidden from her. Nodes with the, it looks like a closed eye symbol, will hide all the nodes behind them. Hidden nodes cannot be interacted with. They conceal all information about the fragment they contain. You'll need to progress through the augural until you reach this node to reveal it and see beyond it. In the augural, use the up or down to zoom in and out, and right to adjust the camera. There we go. I think WASD also works. But we have a new face. And, see, the eye opens up. A new face. I open my eyes again. The two paths have merged into one.
Go on, what do you see? What do you feel?
I sense a new being. A new force. It's getting closer.
That, I believe, would be me.
Power. He is pretty big and imposing. A tall silhouette comes into focus before my eyes, surrounded by electric blue fish dancing in the air. Oh, fish? I knew Bliss was tiny, but now she looks positively minuscule.
I am power. An aspiration like our minuscule Bliss over there.
Oh, he's also reading her mind. Power. The mighty aspiration of willpower. Leadership and strength protects Reverie at all costs. The mighty sovereign yearns for structure and conquest and is among Reverie's most influential aspirations. Power has helped create lands in Reverie's infinity, building bridges and boundaries over its endless ebb of ideas. He values action over words and prides himself on being the most trustworthy of the aspirations. From the very beginning, He has fought the void surrounding the dreams to expand Reverie's domain, and he has fought back many nightmares to protect it. He reads my mind too. I'm going to have to work harder to keep them out of my head.
No offense, Bliss.
None taken. I'd prefer the term fun-sized.
A little laugh slips out of me. Suddenly, this whole situation feels absurdly mundane, as though I've always been a part of this.
You must be Harmony.
Harmony. What a name. Am I one of them? Harmony. And yeah, there's her human appearance and her Reverie appearance. As the link between Reverie and Priddle, this oracle is chosen to walk a special path. Each age, a single Harmony is born, bringing hope and change to our realm. Harmony is tasked with maintaining a balance between the two worlds. They ensure that egregore flows to Reverie and helps us aspirations extend our influence over the brittle, infusing more dreams into humans' minds. Maintaining the cycle is of the utmost importance. I wouldn't be surprised if, with humans having all this technology at their disposal and are essentially dissuaded from creating and whatnot, that or just like to live in just a constant state of consumption, I wouldn't be surprised if the reason why the people of, or the aspirations of Reverie are having difficulties maintaining the heart is that people's dreams are dying and that they're being crushed, that there's very little left for them to aspire to, essentially. I hope that they touch on that.
You have seen how weak our heart is. It won't last long. Great changes would come to pass. You might even call them cataclysmic.
The ground beneath me suddenly feels shaky, unstable.
What can I do? I'm just looking for my mother. I didn't ask for any of this.
You now know that chance does not exist. The futures laid out before you will force your hand. They will require you to make choices. Choices that are ruthless, difficult, even painful. Choose wisely, follow your objective, and your diligence will be rewarded with a valuable resource.
Knew I forgot something. There's this energy called a Gregor, right? It's basically how we exist in your world. It kind of tastes like, you know that blue soda?
Egregor is rare and powerful. It is not to be drunk. Some choices you make will generate egregor and bind us together. Use it wisely.
Egregor. Or egregor? I like egregore more, but egregor. Egregor is the texture of dreams, the energy that flows freely between worlds. At the very beginning, there were the four elements. Still and separate, they needed egregor to come together and merge. This luminous substance... Oh, so is this... I believe in the Greek myths and such, and the old concept of the elements. There is wind, water, fire, and earth, but then there was also something in the center that was called ether or spirit, ether. And so in this, they probably have it as egregor or egregor. But dreams instead, I suppose one's dreams is a form of spirit in a way. This luminous substance holds an infinite amount of possibilities. It is both everything and nothing at the same time, invisible to the human eye. Egregor requires you to see past what is and into what could be. But be warned, egregor is a powerful elixir that is lethal in large quantities.
What are you expecting from me?
The aspirations meet my doubts with a knowing look. I don't like that they can see my thoughts, read my intentions.
You got it. I can tell because your mind's gone all hard. difficult to hear.
It looks like I'm getting better at pushing them away from what's in my head.
We have much more to tell you, but a good leader knows what to reveal and what to leave unsaid. For now, of course.
The two aspirations look at each other. Something is shared in their glance. An emotion, a memory. But I don't know what it is. I'll need to find out by myself.
The key is your mother, Harmony.
Her disappearance must be linked with what happened here.
A pause. They glance at each other.
Some of our number are lost, scattered.
And we work better if we're a team.
How many of them are there? Well, I believe there's 6. From what I saw in the trailer, there was Bliss, there was Power, there was Chaos. I think there was, it wasn't Justice. Was he Truth or something? I think maybe Truth. And there was another one that was it like Glory? I think, yeah, there's quite a number.
But that's for later. Right now, the priority is your mother.
Exactly.
We must find her. Or else...
Your heart will get weaker?
The look in their eyes tells me I'm right.
Find your mother. Explore the futures.
I nod. The view from up here is stunning. The Nexus, a place that belongs to all of us and where our heart beats, pumping life into dreams. The Nexus is neutral ground where we aspirations gather to discuss important matters. The heart of Reverie was once kept in the chosen aspirations sanctuary, sparking much tension among us. Truth and Bond. Oh, so Truth is the one that I was thinking of, but Bond is something else. Work together to create this neutral space to hold the heart and come together, since sanctuaries are private and only open to those their owner allows inside. Kind of reminds me a little bit of watching Sandman and reading the Sandman comics, how there were those different aspects, you know, dream, death, and whatnot. And so here we have these 6 aspects, the aspirations. And yeah, they do have their own sanctuaries and such. They're probably a reflection of who they are. My head feels heavy. So much has been dropped on me. So much. I need to close my eyes. Objectives. A new objective node has been revealed. Objective nodes are marked by a ray of light that shines from their center. Try to reach them to progress through the story. That's interesting. I wonder then, this obviously goes here, and then you choose, yeah, Sanctuary of Bliss, Sanctuary of Power. The long road ahead. But what's this? Kind of home, warn Nora, or support Nora. Bliss Crystal, Power Crystal. Are these things that you can do on the side, but you can still go up here to progress the story? Bliss Crystal or warn Nora, support Nora. Interesting. So you actually choose between them. I wonder if this is going to be a big balancing act where you have to largely ensure that no one of the aspirations becomes more powerful than the others, or maybe you do want to gain crystals or the power crystals with one particular so that you increase your relationship with them. Yeah, we've already read those. So an awakening. I'm back on Earth. Was all of that real? I can tell right away that I'm not in Reverie anymore. The sun over Atina is hot and dry. I stretch out my arms, feeling the muscles there resisting. A minute. I just need a minute to think this through. I came here to find my mother, discovered a necklace that transported me far away. And I'm now able to instantly travel between worlds and talk to gods. The necklace, a key to Reverie forged by a human with the help of an aspiration. This seemingly innocuous trinket acts as a portal between Brittle and Reverie. Some artifacts such as this necklace hold a piece of Reverie within their material confines. Few exist, and fewer are those able to wield their potential. Nevertheless, these artifacts always find their way to the right person. Oh, interesting. So we only have 2 more things to discover mythology-wise here. Yep. Bliss and power, but that's interesting. I thought there were 6, and are we really only going to see 3 more? Unless there's more beyond the demo.
Is that it?
That wasn't a dream. All my studies into the human mind, all my research, I've never heard of anything like this. It wasn't a seizure or hallucination. This was all the legends and tales my mother wrote about in her poetry. All the stories she told me as a kid. And invisible worlds opened up in front of me with the augural. I almost said inaugural. I need to act. I need to embrace this. Crystals. These 2 nodes are blocked by a barrier. Barriers block access to certain nodes until they are removed. It seems crystals are required to unlock either of these 2 nodes. Oh, so actually, we have to get the bliss or the power crystal to go through. Crystals can be gained as you progress through the augural. Yep. Yeah, you see the bliss and the power symbols. Progress through the augural and play one of them to gain a crystal and break the corresponding barrier. Crystals can materialize in different forms depending on which aspiration they are bound to. Okay, at last a familiar face. So we must run into a childhood friend or something, this Nora. I walk back inside, my head still swirling with words, names, predictions. And then, Nora. I can hear her footsteps outside the room. Knowing her, she's about to barge in. I rub my eyes and run my hand through my hair, trying to wake from Reverie. I can feel the tears in my eyes, a sweet taste in my mouth, static electricity grazing my shoulders and my arms.
You're here! Nora! Come here!
She crosses the room and we hug. It's the first human contact I've had in months. Wait, in months? Really? I suppose she was in that apartment in that dreary city, but really? She feels so good, so warm and familiar.
How are you?
Good! I mean, fine, considering what's going on.
It's okay. We'll find her. I know we will.
So much has happened.
Tell me.
Hold on, I need some coffee. It's keeping my brain from rotting.
She drinks coffee now. She's definitely older. A young woman. In the kitchen, Nora makes us both coffee and launches into, well, about 8 different stories all at once, all tangled together. She hasn't changed, always carrying an entire world of plots and characters and charming adventures with her. A Nora-verse of energy. I wonder if she's a writer.
And yeah, Grandpa's gone through all 5 stages of grief, though for a while I thought he was stuck on denial.
I smile as she hands over a huge mug, filled to the brim with caffeine.
Nothing beats a really cheap, super strong coffee.
Hey, Bliss, what are you doing here?
Can she see you?
Oh, no, you're fine. Just don't start talking to yourself. Weirds people out.
I'm so sorry. I'm talking so much. Can't believe it's the first time you've been back in years.
Polly. Oh. Born March 18th of 1998. Graduate with a degree in programming. Moved abroad to work in biotech as a data analyst. daughter of Ursula Beclaire and Marco Ricci, raised by Ms. Beclaire. Seldom returns to Atina since leaving 8 years ago. Nothing of interest to report. Interesting. She's younger than I am. Nora. Born June 9th of 2010. Studied economics as a minor in arts. With a minor in arts. Okay. Her grandfather Laszlo. That's the individual who was texting, or at least attempting to call Polly. Her grandfather Laszlo Kassar is her guardian and has raised her since her parents relinquished custody. Failed first several years of college. Approached a fashion school on the continent for their international classes. Legal name changed at age 18. Seeing a speech therapist. Contacted for Monocon health experiments. Wait, Monocon. Oh, is that the company? I thought it was just a K, but it makes sense. I wonder what experiments they're performing on them.
Yeah, it's... you know.
Oh, I know. Things were difficult with Ursula.
It doesn't feel good to admit my mother always showed more love and affection to Nora than to me. I'm not jealous. Nora deserves love, but... it's hard to stop thinking about the reasons behind it. Was I harder to love?
But she'd been different lately. We had a fight before she went missing.
Ursula was upset with you.
Nora's always gotten along well with my mother. I can't remember the last time they fought.
Have you heard about all the job openings at MK?
Oh, so that's the Monocon. Nora wants to join MK? A few months ago, she was telling me how intrusive and problematic they were. Well, they're the ones that got everyone hooked up to their systems, right?
The city's getting more expensive by the minute, and the pay's good, and it's interesting work, I guess. Did I mention the pay? Because, Paul, we're barely getting by here. And there's this school I'd like to go to, a rather expensive school, but Ursula felt I was betraying myself, and we had a fight, and I had to sleep at a friend's place for a couple of days.
That bad?
I just needed some space, some air.
The shiver of static electricity is back. Through my fingers, up my back, the necklace feels lighter around my throat.
I know MK isn't perfect, but I can't live here forever. No way I can move out without a job.
MK isn't perfect, but is not a sentence I thought I'd hear from Nora's mouth. So essentially, she has these dreams and aspirations, but she's willing to potentially work for this shady company in order to acquire the money to do so. But what was that bit back there with the warn Nora or yeah, don't warn her? Huh.
What do you think?
As I think about how to answer, I feel the weight of the decision. This is the kind of choice Bliss was talking about. Yeah, what are the outcomes? This is what she wants to hear. Support, not judgment. Power, she doesn't want to hear this, but it's for her own good. Monocon. Started as a humble piping company in the early 20th century. Really? Piping? 1 century later, it has grown from a water supply company to become the biggest company in Atina. Monocon now specializes in new technologies and offers a wide array of services. Trivids, drone deliveries, Medicaid with an @ symbol, and much more. Job opportunities abound in a variety of areas, providing roughly half of Atina's population with a steady income and the promise of a brighter future. So this is some kind of disgusting monopoly going on here. Because how do you go from water supplies and piping to video, drone deliveries, medical. Yeah, this. Okay, a little aside, but I absolutely hate this about modern companies. Obviously, there are monopoly laws that prevent a company from, say, buying up all its competition so that you essentially just get these megacorps that control a very specific niche. Like, okay, so if Monocons or whatever bought up all the other piping companies in Europe and just became this big water piping, it'd prevent competition and stuff like that. But what I also hate just as much is when you have companies that say, well, we can't buy things in our own lane, so why don't we buy, and like they kind of octopus their way out into absolutely everything else. So yeah, then you start having them offering medicine and deliveries and social media platforms and a whole bunch of other things, and then it's then you can't escape them still, even though there's the monopoly of, oh yes, there's a specific thing that you can only get from one company. Now there's this thing where you have so many different companies all under their umbrella that it becomes impossible for you to avoid them if you don't want to give them your business in a different way. It's, quite frankly, I really wish that there were things to prevent that as well, because I feel like that is another way for them to capture a lot of the economy, just not in a singular speciality. But I digress. This company doesn't sound good. So when it comes to this decision, maybe I should read about Nora. No, I already did read about her. So my thing is, I'll gain a power crystal or I'll gain a bliss crystal. So there's support, not judgment. So just encourage her to keep working for this company and going for her dreams. Or there's the warn her or support her. I don't know. There's something wrong with this company. Is there a way I can see what the outcome will be? Oh, interesting. I can look into console poor little Nora and I'll invite you to hang out in my room, or Nora needs to hear the truth. Be honest with her. I don't know. I'm all about truth and honesty. I'm actually surprised that these power decisions are more about truth than they are about because I would think that the power decision would be the, you know, taking the money and using it elsewhere and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I think I'm going to have to go with the truth. She probably doesn't want to hear this, but it's for her own good. Warn Nora.
Do it, Harmony.
But she'll be disappointed, and...
You are about to tell her what she needs to hear, not what she wants to hear.
The more I think about it, the more I feel he's right. Time to put on my big sister cap.
Maybe it's just me, but I can't picture you in a Monocon Zone uniform.
I know. But the pay is... It would change a lot for me.
She's conflicted, and I don't think she expected me to reel her back in so quickly. How long has she been thinking about this? I mean, she has been gone for 8 years? So I don't really expect their relationship to have been that tight.
No, you're right. It's not a good idea. They've been increasing security all over the island. MK is everywhere these days. Hard to avoid.
Mm-hmm. Yep. They're definitely looking like a surveillance state.
And I know I won't change anything by myself, but...
Her heart is heavier. I wish I could take this burden off her, but the rest is up to her.
You cannot take back your words. Moving forward is the only way to travel this road, Harmony. You did well.
sorry. It was a bad idea. Can I have a hug?
I don't need to be asked twice. Her warmth is contagious.
You know I didn't mean to make you feel guilty, right?
I know. Don't worry. I'm tough. On the inside.
Of course you are.
She smiles. I smile back. I'm realizing that from now on, my relationships will be affected by my power. This is a heavier burden than I thought.
This is good. The hug, I mean.
It is.
Nora squeezes harder. Then she releases me. We're both recharged, both forgiven, both at peace.
Come on. I guess we should go find Laszlo.
Yeah. I could do with a drink.
And maybe passing out, and forgetting about the necklace, and those two weird... Oh, stop that thought before it expands beyond my control. That's a funny one. So, Laszlo must own a bar then. Family first. Because that's why I'm here, isn't it? Family. Crystal obtained. You collected your first crystal. Crystals collected during the chapter are not kept when you move to the next one. A barrier has fallen. You can now reach the objective node. Oh, look at that. Warn Nora, and there's fish. So I wonder if he always has fish surrounding him. And then I wonder if Bliss has those little, kind of like the game sprites, maybe? Okay. So there's power. You're welcome to visit my stronghold at any time, young Harmony. Okay. We have a power crystal. Then the long road ahead. That's as far as you can see. Power's stronghold. Oh, there's the fish. And he has this pillar with all of these. Yeah, it's very rigid, very angular. All those sections floating outside of it. A shock, a brief pain behind my eyes, a bright light. When I return to my senses, I'm not in Atina anymore. I'm back in Reverie.
You have chosen well thus far.
Is this your realm?
Indeed. A place of strength, of fortitude.
Power's Stronghold. Unsurprisingly, Power's Stronghold is the grandest sanctuary in Reverie. It presides over many dreams, and it is said that to extend deep into the ground of Reverie. Its dark obsidian slabs come from the darkest nightmares Power has managed to venture into. They serve as a reminder of his strength for everyone to see. The Stronghold has seen many wars and conquered many dreams, but it remains firmly rooted in the heart of Power's realm. A gust of dry wind pushes us inside the tower. Ooh, that is quite the throne. Oh, and the fish. I love fish. Growing up, I had goldfish, and a number of them lasted almost a decade. My first fish, he lived to be 13 and a half years old. Absolutely loved him. So I just have a real soft spot for goldfish and carp of any sort. Oh, there's so many of them now. The cold stone that surrounds us makes me feel... Oh, needed to change my voice. The cold stone that surrounds us makes me feel like I'm walking down the barrel of a gun. Power takes an unhurried seat on a monumental throne, a movement rehearsed 1,000 times.
But a realm implies a kingdom, a title, a crown.
This is all for show, a power play. Power's court. These innocuous fish are Power's messengers. Oh, his messengers are fish that fly through the air? Power's fish are his eyes and his ears and have been known to fight before. Power's loyal allies. Since time immemorial, the fish are his messengers, spies, and soldiers. Their expressions are undecipherable. They're listening to us. Or are they listening to us or waiting for orders? We do not know. Oh, I love the fish. No pun intended.
We aspirations are neither kings nor queens nor anything in between. Neither deities nor demigods. We simply are. Aspirations are intrinsically linked to your world and your kind.
And we never had a clue about any of it.
Have you always been here?
Always. Since the dawn of your kind. Since your first dream, your first wish, your first complex thought. It must come as a shock to lose the luxury of your ignorance.
Yeah, so they're manifestations of just humans' dreams. And I wonder why they kind of coalesced into just these 6. And then Harmony, I suppose, being a 7th. The aspirations have been here all this time, everywhere, guiding all of our choices. So many questions. My mind's awash with the words and doubts and queries.
Do we elect you?
He shakes his gigantic head back and forth, his mouth twisting into a smile. The concept of democracy seems an alien to power.
The same way a river elects the sea into which it flows.
For a second, it feels like his throne is made of whitewashed bones, crushed hopes, tears and sweat and blood.
You sense that we aspirations are much more than we appear. We give off an energy that is neither good nor bad. Harmony.
Like gods?
I'm trying to make sense of it all, trying to make it work in my head.
Gods are invented, and inventions can be killed.
The music is really catchy here. Yeah, gods are invented and inventions can be killed. So essentially saying that all of humanity's pantheons and whatnot are ones that humans created. They merely, exist.
No. No.
A sedan-sized fist hammers the arm of his throne.
We are much more greater than gods. But our strength is limited to this place. We need a firm hand to restore our world.
And my world too, right? If I understood, we're connected. You need us humans. And we need you.
The smile disappears from his face. Oh, of course Power would take issue with the idea that he has to rely on humans. Because that's a sign of weakness. It means that there's this symbiosis and that humans actually have a measure of power over his own existence. He has to acknowledge that, but I'm sure he's loath to do so.
True. True. Use the Augural. Explore your future. Establish and assert your own will. Follow my path, and we can change the world. Our worlds. Because whatever is about to come, dear Harmony, even I cannot predict what it will be.
He raises his hand and snaps his fingers. Ooh. A long road ahead. My head is buzzing with thoughts. Now what? And then what's the one above it? I can't see. Whatever's brewing here, it's big. Bigger than my mother disappearing. I step closer to the heart of Reverie. Its blue flames don't seem to burn.
Hey, you still here?
I turn around. Bliss is standing right in front of
Didn't
me.
mean to scare you. Sorry.
There's more to it than she's ready to share. I can sense it.
This is a lot. Are you real? Is any of this real? Or am I having some sort of waking nightmare?
First, thanks. Nightmare indeed. Second, it's very real, Sprout.
I just need a minute.
It's okay. Really.
I like the animations that they have go on behind their heads. It gives them a little bit of movement even though they themselves are not.
We're really impressed by everything you've done so far. Soon, you'll be able to see even further on the Augural.
How far ahead?
Depends on your choices, on who you side with, on what happens.
She's uncomfortable.
I can tell you don't exactly trust me, even if I can't read your mind anymore.
Let's be honest here.
You mentioned my mother. As soon as I stepped into all this, you knew. And you wanted me to find her. What's going on with her? Do you know Ursula?
Can aspirations breathe? Because if so, Bliss just took the biggest gulp of air ever.
Ursula was here before, in your shoes, in this place, wearing this necklace.
Oh, so was she Harmony prior?
And she tried to do everything you've been doing today, and
She failed.
she wasn't the right person. Why? I can't tell you directly.
For every mystery solved, 2 secrets are added.
Whatever happened, it broke us. It almost ruined Reverie. And we forgot. Our minds, our bodies were twisted and erased.
Ooh, that's rather extreme. What happened? Ursula was dispassionate towards her own daughter and didn't seem to even care about her husband leaving. I wonder, maybe she really wasn't a good fit to be Harmony. But I wonder what decisions she made. I turn away from Bliss. A minute. I just need a minute. Today's been a string of stolen minutes, wild concepts, shocking discoveries.
We need your help. And you need ours. There's an aspiration called truth. They know a lot. I mean, of course. If you could find a way to save them, it would mean the world to us.
Ah, one of the lost aspirations.
I know it's unfair to ask you to go out there without any more information.
It'll be okay. I understand the stakes. And I'll do my best.
I give her a tentative smile. I need to get back to Nora, meet with Laszlo, search for my mother, and this truth. No time to lose. History. Select a pass node to display an overview of its contents. The game is saved automatically after each node is played. You can restart a chapter from the start as long as it has not been completed. Well, I like what I've done so far. So I suppose I just end the chapter. Ooh. This is the act overview. It appears when reaching the end of a chapter. An act is composed of several chapters, each having its own objectives. The act overview is a simplified vision of all the chapters composing an act. This is the objective that you must just completed by helping Nora and making a decision about her future. It is now part of your ongoing journey towards the main pivot points of the story, the outcomes. Outcomes. An outcome represents the conclusion of great events in the future. They are unlocked by the crystals you collected throughout the chapters. At the end of a chapter, all the crystals you have collected were automatically transferred to the outcomes. Unlocking an outcome generally requires a large number of crystals. At the end of an act, you'll have to pick an outcome, but I suppose you can only pick an outcome that you've geared yourself towards. So does that mean I have to continually choose power? But is this truth? So why is Bliss separate from them? On the augural, you can press that at any time to access the act overview. Do not hesitate to check it regularly and see your progress towards the outcome you're aiming for. All right. Act 2. The more glory and more grief than I can tell. And this is interesting. I can't really see past these. A spark of joy. Sadness is what's stopping this place from thriving. Have 13 bliss crystals. Oh, no, that's bond. Tradition reborn. This place needs a guiding hand, Harmony. Someone to show the way. Have 13 bond or power crystals. Does that mean that I can have 10 bond crystals and 3 power crystals and it would still work? I'm curious. That's interesting that they wouldn't have a second character connected with bliss. It almost seems like it would be easier to do this because then you're not supposed to just steamroll all of Bliss's tasks. Curious, very curious. Well, let's do Act 1, Chapter 2. Oh, look at that. Wow. This is quite the ways, and I won't be able to tell, but there's actually 2 endings. There's so many converging paths. I absolutely love narrative games where you can visualize your path through the game. They usually don't offer it, but when they do, it allows you to see, yeah, if I had made this decision differently, I could have gone down this path in these events. Sometimes you have to unlock them by playing both. A familiar face, foreign emotion. So hold off for now, or ask Nora about Laszlo. No. I definitely want to see Laszlo. Familiar face, foreign emotion. Laszlo's expecting me, maybe more than anyone else. Consequence. Reveal 2 nodes. Oh, those 2. Interesting. So you can see, this is a way for you to be able to plan your route. If you can see these 2 nodes, then you can kind of gauge what might occur here and where you want to go. Revelation. The eye symbol means the node will trigger a revelation. Revelations unveil nodes still invisible to Polly on the inaugural. See the links extending from the icon? They point to the nodes that will be revealed. All right, reveals 2 nodes. Let's see what goes on here. Siama's Creek. I look up at the sky, the clouds floating by, obscuring the newly revealed stars. Familiar but unknowable, beautiful but ever-changing.
I came out here for like 2 hours last week.
Siama's Creek. Unfortunately, Alma's only public beach has been closed since the 90s. Why? Oh, because of toxic water that's dumped into our sea. Swimming in the side of the island is strictly forbidden. Whose toxic waste is that? Okay, since the Green Hills Agreement of 2026, Monocon has been hard at work to rid our coasts of pollution. It is confident that it will be able to clear our beaches by the end of the decade. A brand new water park near Siama's Creek will create new job opportunities. Construction on the park would be completed just as our shores are reopened to the public. I see. So they just can't leave it a beach? They have to have a water park next to it? Probably because then they can charge admission.
I believe it.
They suck you in, don't they? Especially when the sea's calm and you can see them reflected down there.
I look over at her, neck craned upwards, a half smile on her lips. She seems calmer. I'm glad.
All right. Time to rip off the bandage. Let's go see Laszlo.
I'll be at your side.
I know you will.
She lowers her gaze from the heavens and looks me in the eye.
You haven't seen him the last few days? full-on denial. It's killing me to see him like this.
Sounds rough. But we'll find a way, right? Even if we have to outdrink him with his own imported beers.
That wins me another smile. Clear this
They
time.
are so expensive. And I'm broke, just so you know.
We walk through the streets of our childhood, laughter bouncing off the old familiar walls. We chat as we go. We're sad that one store is closed, amazed that another has managed to stay open. We laugh, a godsend considering the circumstances. Yeah, I definitely feel that. Returning to my hometown, or home city, there are so many stores that have closed, especially since the pandemic occurred. But in any case, yeah, it's sad to see so many things fade away and others take their place, but the further we walk, the worse the flickers get. Bond's estuary. Wait, is she kind of phasing out of place again? Oh, this looks like the Amazon. Images of other places, impossible places. Reverie. Birds flutter around my head, phasing in and out of reality, and a kindly voice calls my name. And then he's there, in front of me.
Greetings. Oh, did I startle you?
Wow, he has a cat's cradle.
Where am I? Who are you? Another aspiration?
Exactly. I'm Bond. My siblings keep forgetting about me. I'm not interrupting anything, am I?
That's fun. So he's Bond. Of course he would be playing with string then. Bond, the kindest of all the aspirations. Bond is the connection between all things and strength in numbers. Wait, what is up with his eyes in here? Selfishness is a foreign concept to Bond. He lives through the eyes and the feelings of others. Bond was once a multitude, but resigned himself to becoming a single being for the convenience of the other aspirations. Why, would he have been a flock of birds before? This is mainly because he needs them to exist and forge the connections in which he thrives. Communication between the aspirations is greatly improved thanks to Bond, and he introduces the concepts of equality and inclusivity to dreams. Actually, I wouldn't say that he isn't too different than Harmony, and I suppose as a concept.
No. I guess I'm getting used to it. I feel at home, somehow.
Naturally. My path is one of community, friendship, and empathy. My mangrove forest is a place of warmth and safety. And I am an excellent host.
Bond's Marsh. The once vibrant, thriving jungle has been quiet for a few cycles now. There, wrapped in shadows, swarms of life forms live and multiply. Bond knows each and every soul and secret that dwells within this boundless marsh, and he cares for them all. His mind swims through their energy, breeding new lives each day. Although this cosmos has lost much of its vital energy, Bond kindly watches over it like a shepherd, welcoming vagrant dreams as well.
The journey before you, Harmony, is one with many roads and even more destinations. I am here to guide you towards those that lead to understanding, not conflict.
I know this won't be as simple as that, unfortunately.
Oh, you mean your mother. I know you will find a way to, see eye to eye with her.
Fat chance, but sure, let's pretend that that's even remotely possible.
I don't wish to keep you. Before you go, I have but one piece of advice. Remain mindful of others. Then your journey may be one of discovery, not destruction.
Fitting that he would be the Amazon in that regard. Because it's about all of the symbiosis and creatures living together. Oh, Laszlo's bar. Before I can reply to this newest aspiration, I blink and I'm back in Atna.
Turns out he wasn't even talking to me. Can you believe it? What an idiot. Well, we're here.
She's right. Laszlo's bar. I give her a reassuring nudge, and we head up to the counter. One of the numerous bars built under the tram lines in the early 70s. Run by a colorful bartender, for over 20 years it has earned quite a reputation. Under City Council's Community Enhancement Program, tiny bars such as this one flourished around Atina's tram stations. However, they slowly disappeared in the 10s, probably the 2010s, and were replaced by larger automated multi-story breweries. Ew! Automated breweries? What? So do people just go up to the bar, or maybe they just order it on some kind of weird machine and it comes down a conveyor belt and, you know, they just have robots dispensing the drinks or something? This bar is among the last of its kind, importing beverages from neighboring islands and coasts. The place hasn't changed at all, except it's a little messier. A lot messier, in fact. But the rest, the ramshackle seating, the sticky counter, the rumble of the tram line overhead, this place always felt like a second home to me. And there, tending the bar.
You're here. I'm so glad you're finally here.
Laszlo. He leaves the counter and then comes over. Before I can react, he's grabbing me in a bear hug. My phone jams into my ribs and I force a smile.
My word, it's good to see you, Polly. You look like a strong breeze would knock you over. Are you eating? Here, look, I've got snacks behind the bar.
Laszlo. Born April 13th of 1974, former nurse and owner of the well-established bar in Alma. Widower of Alex Natalizia, with whom he had one daughter, Veruca Kassar. Met Ursula Beauclair while on duty at St. James Hospital, was one of the first community members to join her in renovating the Naiads, briefly sat on the city council in the 90s, became his granddaughter Nora's legal guardian when Veruca Kassar chose not to raise her child, refused multiple offers from Monocon to franchise his bar. Good on you, Laszlo. Don't have your bar consumed by Monocon. Nora rolls her eyes. She wasn't wrong. His smile is too wide, his voice a bit too loud. Laszlo's a jolly fellow, but this is a bit too jolly for the situation. Why? Ooh, distant objectives. Several objective nodes have been revealed. It will be impossible to gather the crystals required to complete both objectives. You will have to make a decision. Will you follow Bliss's path or Bond's instead? Well then, let's see. A family tree is a fragile thing. Be careful how you handle it. You haven't seen each other for ages. Take it easy. Serious stuff can wait. Now that's interesting. Cheers and worries. Won't be able to see it until I get to the next node. Someone goes away and the community falls apart. Bring it together. Let it heal in unity. Laszlo is hiding his emotions. You need to strengthen his bonds with the people that he loves. Laszlo finally talks to Nora, and Laszlo opens up to his friends. So this is about him confronting loss? And this is... oh. So conditions. Have 2 bliss crystals, gain 5 bliss crystals. Have 2 bond crystals, gain 5 bond crystals. We already knew that much further in the chapter we could use power and bond, but oh, interesting. We have 0 at this point. Laszlo finally talks to Nora. Laszlo opens up to his friends. Interesting. But who would his friends be? don't know. I feel like I should try going for bond. Not that I want to completely leave Bliss in the cold, but I should ask Nora about Laszlo. Laszlo bustles off to grab some unneeded stacks, sending an errant beer bottle skittering across the cobbles.
What's up with him?
He's been like this ever since Ursula disappeared. It's unbearable. He pretends everything's fine, like she's gonna waltz through the door any minute. Whenever I bring it up, he gets angry. So, I stopped. He has his own way of showing his feelings, I guess.
Yeah, so I got one bond crystal here. Oh, this is really pretty. Well, it's not too far, but wow, look at all of these paths. Cheers and worries. Something's afoot with Laszlo. Something besides Ursula's disappearance. With Laszlo fussing about behind the counter, Nora smiles and goes over to chat with some regulars. There are a few faces I recognize, names bubbling up from the fog of forgotten memory, Laszlo's friends. They look older, shrunken almost. Snippets of conversation drift my way. He's not been the same these last few days. What's wrong with him? I turn my head away. I don't need to hear it anymore. They're worried too. I need to do something. Ooh, inevitable nodes. This is an inevitable node. You have no choice but to play this node when it becomes available. Laszlo's a pro at avoiding serious subjects. No choice but to listen to him for now. I try to strike up conversation with him, but he immediately launches into a discussion of Alma's politics and the price of importing beer. I let him do the talking. It feels good to hear him talk about mundane
Nora
things.
tell you about the storm a while back?
I've seen pictures. How bad was it?
Bit of flooding around the island, but the walls held and the roof barely leaked at home. Nora helped board up the bar. We had a good laugh at all the drowned drones the next day.
Ha! Yes, indeed. It probably brought them all down from the skies.
Spotted some MK folks trying to scoop them up before they floated out to sea.
Competitive drone fishing.
He smiles, and his face relaxes somehow.
The sport where nobody wins.
Ooh, choose one of the next two nodes. Laszlo needs support. Even if he won't admit it, why don't you show him the way? If he's too shy to talk in front of Nora, you should give him some privacy. I'm too nosy. No, I need to know what's going on. Ooh, this is interesting. Ask him how he feels. Ask him about Nora. Be gentle. Warn him about denial. Talk about change. Talk about the Naiads. Speak about Ursula. Speak about MK. So this is definitely more about his emotions. And Nora. This is more about the things that might be impacting him in the environment. Ursula, MK, change, and the Naiads. I mean, I still want to go down this path. Because I need 2 of his crystals to open that door. Oh, that's interesting. No, there's actually a way for you to... So the thing is, I only need 2 of Bond's crystals. So what I could technically do is go down this path and warn him about denial. Or I could go down this path and talk about Ursula or MK. And I would still have enough, because you only need 2 crystals. So if I wanted to, I could still potentially choose one of Bliss's crystals. Going into the next part of the chapter, it might leave me with a little less. I want to go down this route. This is going to be tough. Laszlo is open and generous, but when it comes to his feelings, not so much. It could be hard to get through to him. I wait until he's busy with a customer to talk to Nora.
Okay, here's the plan. We have to get his guard down, or he'll stay like this forever. And that's no good for anyone. So, it's time for some bar work.
What?
Just follow my lead.
I rise and walk behind the bar as confidently as I can. Nora follows close after me.
Come on, move over.
What are you two up to?
Tending bar. Judging from the state of this place, you can use all the help you can get.
The place is looking a little untidy, I suppose. A bit busy, you know?
Looks like a bomb's gone off, Grandpa.
The nerves on this girl.
But he smiles. The banter's enjoyable after all.
I love you too.
Revocation. The X icon means the next node will trigger revocation. It will block access to other nodes forever. Select a node with a revocation to see what nodes will be blocked. Oh, that's interesting. If I talk about the Naiads, it'll revoke Laszlo speaking about the MK. If I talk about change, maybe he can explain why he feels so off about Atna. Then I won't be able to speak about Ursula. So it's interesting because it is essentially forcing me to do the other option. Even if he seems to avoid the place, he may have things to say. Yeah, I'd like to learn more about MK as an association, but also, or a corporation, but also Ursula. So that blocks it off. The thing is, I wanted to talk about change and then about Ursula, but no, it makes sense that the Naiads, then you talk about Ursula versus change in the city. Because, yeah, MK has definitely taken over. I mean, he has been hard hit by the disappearance of Ursula. So I think I'm going to have to choose this path, even though I really do want to learn more about MK and the change of the city. But I can already see it, that it's been taken over by this big corporation. So I'll do that. I start to tidy up, grabbing discarded bar rags, bottles, and stale-smelling glasses. Nora looks at me confused. Hands full, I jerk my head towards a pile of dirty bar mats. Wordlessly, she collects them, shoveling them into the tiny washer. A smile appears on her face.
So, the Naiads is looking good?
The storm hit hard, so we had to fix and paint a lot of stuff in there.
He takes a glass from the bar and begins to clean it vigorously. I see a flash of fear in his eyes as they dart towards Nora. There's something unsaid there. That's highly unusual for Laszlo.
Nora, careful with the glasses.
I know.
But thank you. I probably needed some help over here.
I could swear he was about to say as well. Well, here we go. Let him talk. He's ready to open up to you, Harmony. Let's talk about Ursula. After a moment of silence, Laszlo places the glass back on the counter. He stares ahead, lost in thought. When he speaks, his voice is tight and cautious. Not the same man that we'd been seeing so far tonight.
I don't want to worry you girls. Yeah. I knew something was wrong. She'd been acting off for weeks.
It's okay. It's gonna be okay.
He lowers his eyes. It looks like he's wrestling with something.
Didn't want to involve you. We had enough problems already with the money and MK. I'm sorry.
Grandpa, it's okay. We understand.
They were our problems. I thought I could deal with them myself, and
Well, time to figure out what comes next.
Ooh. What can that possibly mean? May the sun return soon. It's been a long day, but there are still some things that need to be said. Yep. We have 2 bond crystals, and this one we only have 1, so we've unlocked this one. Night has fallen. The place is almost empty apart from Laszlo's friends and a phone browsing Nora. A lot of text. I'm curious, but it's not my place to investigate, at least not now.
It has been a day.
Definitely a day.
Tomorrow's creeping up on us already.
He nods his head at me, but this time it's genuine. There's a faint sparkle in his eyes. His armor isn't gone, but the straps have loosened. It's a start. And now we're up to here. So we get to see what Bonds is. Bond has learned much today. With the help of others, he may grow stronger than he ever imagined. Sorry, Bliss. We decide to stay for a while. Nora for the atmosphere, me to see if I can pry off the last of Laszlo's armor. Then I get an idea to get him to talk.
Why don't we grab a drink with your friends over there, Laszlo?
He hesitates for a second before grabbing a big bottle from the fridge.
Sure.
We join Laszlo's posse around the far table, older folks from Atina and abroad. It all feels so normal. Derogatory jokes at Laszlo's expense, talk of the island and of Alma. MK, the new neighborhood they raised and rebuilt. Someone mentioned that Ursula's fought the construction for years and... oh no, did MK wipe her out? You know, Hitman style or something? Is that why she's gone? Or, I don't know. I mean, it would make sense. This corporation is trying to... Essentially, look at this eclectic street. I would imagine they'd want to tear all this down to make more of these skyscrapers. And it happens.
I need to come clean, folks. Ursula's been gone for a few days. She's disappeared.
This is news to the rest of the group.
I feel responsible. And I'm sorry if, you know, I hurt you.
Around the table, people show their support. Hands are shaken. Promises are made to go out and look for her, ask questions. It's all quite moving. And when things calm down, his eyes meet mine. Is that gratitude?
The truth is, I knew it was coming. That something was coming, at least. Things have felt off for weeks. At home. Here. A feeling in the air.
That was quite the rumble up there. I was a little worried about that pillar.
Again, sorry. To all of you. Nora, most of all. Sorry.
He seemed to imply in a previous dialogue section that he and Ursula, I mean, obviously they run the Naiads and such, but that they were in opposition to MK and something that MK wanted to do. Maybe they were running low on money, and maybe MK was trying to buy something or force them off the land. I don't know.
I just... It's hard. I didn't want anyone else to bear the burden.
But the load's a little bit lighter if you have everyone else help you. I suppose that's the point of bond. Nora smiles gently, strides to the chair next to her grandfather and leans over. She rests her head on his considerable shoulder. For the first time since I arrived, I see a genuine smile across his face. Consequences of objectives. The objective nodes may generate consequences that impact later chapters of the story. This will give you access to entire branches of the future and cut you off from others. Keep this in mind when planning your route on the augural. So now we have 7 bond crystals, 1 bliss crystal, and nothing of power yet. But this is the end of the chapter. Because of the choices that you made when dealing with Laszlo, you made great progress towards an outcome. This one. You've chosen the path laid out before you by an aspiration, but the future might still be in your hands. Outcomes may have greater consequences than objectives. Will you stay on the same path, or would you rather change the course of the future? Act 1, Chapter 3. I'm loving these branches. And it's actually quite quick, the gameplay. Trusted hands. Oh, interesting. Why is this one... Now, why is this one in gold? I suppose we'll learn about that later. So we have a couple power crystal, bond crystal. Ooh. More information about Jade, Jade's investigation. Lose a power crystal, lose a bond crystal. What? Maybe that's a way for you to continue with Bliss's options. And I'm pretty sure each of this is probably bond, power, and bliss before the ending of this chapter. Whew, this is a lot. Trusted hands. Polly's room. A new day dawns. Consciousness returns slowly, and as I open my... A new day dawns. Consciousness returns slowly, and as I open my eyes, they feel like hot marbles rolling in their sockets. Yesterday was more intense than I imagined. Reconnecting with Laszlo took an emotional toll that I'm not sure either of us was ready for. I checked the clock, past 10, late. 5 more minutes won't hurt. But as my eyes close, there's a flicker, and I'm back in Reverie. I open them, and I'm at home in bed. This is becoming intolerable. I wait a few moments to see if the sensation returns, but it leaves me for now. Time to get up. And we're in the Naiads, but there's the shed. Originally built as an elevator to bring materials to the Naiads, this building has endured. Its structure has changed a lot over the years, growing from a simple shack to a proper house. It is infamous for being a potential hazard, extending over the sea unlike any other building in Atina. But it somehow became a part of the local folklore. Eventually, City Council gave up on trying to close it down. To this day, it is one of Alma's quirkiest sites.
Are you sure you saw it in here?
Yes, it was by the sink. I was listening to my podcast.
Researching about the Oxyons, are you?
I'm sure there's a connection between them and Ursula and... Oh! Morning, sleepyhead.
It looks like the two of them have been up for quite a while. For Laszlo, that's not a surprise, but for Nora, Nora's usually a night owl. Breakfast is all laid out. Banana crepes, hazelnut and sesame paste, fresh mango, oh, my favorites.
How are you two this awake already?
Already? It's nearly lunch.
Grandpa, tell her!
Tell me what?
No, you do it.
We have a lead! On Ursula.
Ooh, someone that they asked help from at the bar? Did they find something? The next note's barrier was removed after you reached the last chapter's objective. The other is forever inaccessible to you. You might not see the consequences of an objective note until it's much later in the story. Oh, interesting. So these are the things with Jade, too. Oh, interesting. The locks. Ursula and MK. Jade's personal issues. I kind of like the idea of going this way, considering I want to know what's happened with Ursula and MK. Someone in the crowd. Laszlo was right to believe the kindness of stranger. Laszlo spoke openly about Ursula to the people of Alma. Laszlo opened up to Nora a bit more. So I can't actually choose this one. It is locked off. Yep, see? Locked. So that means I'll go here, but maybe I'll still be able to go down this path unless that one touches on this one. Ooh, interesting. Someone in the crowd. It takes a few seconds for my mind to adjust to what I've heard. We drank quite a lot last night. It seems that Laszlo's friends were adamant. He needed to party hard. Being an adult means that you can skip therapy for a good old all-night binge. It's been ages since I've been hungover. All right, just focus.
What's happening? Spill!
Last night, one of my friends reminded me about a girl at the Naiads.
She came to meet with Ursula. Several times, in fact.
Oh, that must be Jade.
I asked who she was, and your mother said she was a journalist, interested in publishing some of her poems.
Or a journalist who wants dirt on MK.
Which is weird. Nobody publishes poetry nowadays.
Oh no.
I have to admit that Ursula hasn't sold a single text in decades. Anyway, I didn't push it. Assumed your mother would tell me the truth when she was ready. But then
she disappeared off the face of the earth.
Anyway, I mentioned this girl to my regulars. She's not the sort of person you forget easily. So, Jack thought he recognized the description, and this morning...
He dropped this off. Well, show her.
Laszlo grabs something off the counter and hands it to me. A magazine. It's a local publication, anti-corporate, anti-fascist. Monocon seems to be the theme of this issue, unsurprisingly, considering they're super corporate.
Second page, editor's column.
There's a lengthy piece on the inside cover. It skewers MK, their actions on Athena, their checkered history. And at the bottom, there's a photo and a single name.
Jade.
Ooh, that's her. I think she's quite famous around here. Badass type.
Sounds like she's got a new fan.
Jack also told us the printer's address. Might be a good start.
We've got some mutuals in common too. Maybe we could hit them up instead. They'll know how to contact her for sure.
We've got options. That's a good start. A really good start. The lock symbol indicates that the node is locked. You need to reach the key that it opens. See the key icon on the augural. Ooh, okay. So we have Ursula and MK. Unlock Jade's personal issues or the MK. Interesting. So that locks all of those off, which means that we can't do Jade's personal issues. This one's Jade's investigation. Explore the printing room. Or find Jade's friends. Nora won't have trouble asking for info. An underground printing room sounds quite cool. Ask about the printing room. Unlocks this up here. That unlocks something over here. Or at least allows you to see what's up there. Ooh. I kind of want to find the printer. Her business contacts are more likely to have forwarding addresses and such. I decide to focus on the other lead.
Let's check the printers.
All right. I'll get my keys and we'll head out.
Let's go.
Ooh, pretty. Everything is so colorful here. Castello Road. little trams. The place isn't far. It's a ramshackle house that for all intents and purposes appears to be abandoned. Still, when we rap on the door, someone opens up. Someone who is most certainly not happy to see us. She looks to be about my age. As soon as Laszlo mentions Jade, she jams a finger to her lips and points to the sky. Oh, the drone package. Wait, they look like little pigs? Several drones hover above the streets, searching for something, or just on patrol. No, they're the corporation's eyes and ears. They're looking for Jade. Nora and I nod and stroll a little away down the street. As soon as the drones move on, Laszlo's disappears inside.
Any idea what this Jade might have wanted with Ursula?
Is that suspicion I detect?
Come on. It's a little weird, right? A stranger at the Naiads. A journalist, of all things. And then my mother disappears.
If it were anyone else, yeah, sus. But this is Jade. She's got to be the most active activist on the island. Plus, she has, like, moral scruples.
Is it just me, or is Nora starting to sound like Jade's #1 fan? Which is funny because she was actually thinking of working for Monocon CERN not long ago, but, well, now she doesn't. Fight the corporation.
I've got a good feeling about this. About Jade. If we find her, she'll help if she can. I know it.
Laszlo emerges from the house and strides over, a big grin on his face. Ooh. Oh, we don't have a power crystal. Maybe you should have paid attention to Nora and Laszlo's relationship when the time was right. Well then, it looks like we'll just have to go here. Laszlo has more information about Jade. Laszlo's back, but he's keeping quiet. He sticks his hands in his pockets, clearly enjoying your impatience.
Come on then, tell us.
The owner said she hadn't seen Jade in a while. Usually pops by every few days, but not anymore. She also said something was a bit off. Jade's fire was gone, or something like that.
Oh no, was Jade threatened by something?
The mag was everything to her. And then, she stopped caring. Truth be told, the owner was more than a little spooked, worried. Thought Monocon CERN might have caught Jade's scent.
This has got to be tied to Ursula.
I need to get Nora to chill out a bit.
I don't know. It's all just a bunch of stuff happening at the same time right now. No solid links. Could be a coincidence, you know?
Skate Park is where we'll find her, if she wants to be found. We should head over there. I'm interested in having a chat with this young woman everyone's so enamored with.
Very well. Unlock Ursula and the MK. We're walking through the streets. Laszlo's in front, a smile on his face. Nora and I are behind, trying to keep up with him.
So, did the owner know what Jade was working on? Might have something to do with why she was talking to Ursula.
She said, far as she could tell, Jade was on a big MK investigation. Something to do with a public health program? No specifics, though. Jade hadn't delivered the copy.
Ooh, the health program. Nora almost shudders. Well, she was part of that health program.
Nothing that could go wrong there.
Doesn't sound like anything Ursula would have a hand in.
I can sense something surrounding us, like a warm blanket. Is one of the aspirations trying to reach me? But as I try to focus on it, it disappears. Causality. You've unlocked this node. You can now access it normally. Laszlo seems to know something from Ursula's past. Ursula and the MK? Okay, let's see. What does Laszlo know? There's a shared charge between us, unconscious but evident. Each of us looking over our shoulders more, checking the skies for drones, our surroundings for eavesdroppers. Like a spy. On my own island.
Doesn't surprise me that your mother might be involved in something to do with that bloody company.
No, me neither. Remember those papers she wrote when I was a kid?
Oh no! Is this what I think it is? So, okay. Polly's mother was Harmony for a little bit and knew about the awesome magical power of the egregore. Is it possible that the reason why there's very little egregore or energy for that gloopy heart, the heart at the center of everything, is it because human dreams and aspirations aren't reaching Reverie? Could it be that that somehow MK found out about Ursula and her powers or something, or Ursula somehow divulged them to them, and now MK is harvesting people's dreams to give themselves infinite power? Oof. I don't know. That's just my prediction. That's what I'm thinking.
MK didn't like those at all.
Ursula was protesting MK.
Not directly. Her work was all about ancient history, historical accounts, Oxyon stuff.
Potentially connections to Reverie. Maybe past harmonies.
MK didn't like any of that. But it was a very different beast back then. Barely a pop.
Those look like the symbols that are on the pillars and stuff.
Either way, she was no fan of Monocon or what it was doing to Athena.
Athena. That's how I'll pronounce it. It's not Athena, it's Athena. Very well.
Her and Jade teaming up to take them down. Yeah, I can see that.
But without telling us? Your mother is a secretive person, sure, but she would have said something.
I turn to Nora. She looks like she agrees. I definitely played well past this point, but I don't want to give away too much for you guys, just in case you decide to pick this up for yourself, which I highly recommend from what I've played so far. Up next is a little animation that I thought absolutely enthralling, and some closing thoughts. And there's all the aspirations on full display, including truth, glory, and chaos. As I've iterated before, I love this game's art, voice acting, and animation, and I'm absolutely intrigued by its setting and gameplay. Each chapter seems to add new ways to interact with the Augural board, from gaining and losing aspiration crystals to viewing future nodes and unlocking some, while losing access to others. Then there's Athena and how it's lorded over by the pervasive and futuristic Monocon Corporation, who surveils the populace, and maybe silencing activists like Polly's mother Ursula. It definitely seems like a commentary on how far current tech companies may spread their influence if left unchecked. Which then brings us to the aspirations, whose ailing world is being deprived of egregore, humanity's own dreams and desires. They are such a unique cast of whimsical characters, and I look forward to seeing how Harmony is able to balance their prerogatives and shape a new future for humanity. If you are interested in choosing your own path through the narrative and experience the game for yourself, Harmony: The Fall of Reverie is currently available on PC and the Switch, but will be released on Xbox and the PlayStation 5 on the 22nd. Many thanks again to Don't Nod for reaching out to us, and to all of you for listening to my musings and joining me on this first impression. Hope to see you next time.